strong.
Hi, welcome to Funny Minds. I'm Lynn B.
And I'm your co-guru today, Mr. Edward Best.
And today we have on with us a very famous and very lovely speaker, but voiceover artist who is like the voice of John Deere, a lot of TV commercials and radio and NFL, NBA, a lot of different avenues. Lowe's, I saw something on Lowe's. I know I responded to you the other day, Christy Harst. And I'm so excited to have you on because like LinkedIn has blown up with you, and I just feel so honored that you agreed to be on our show. Welcome to the show, Christy.
Well, thank you very much. That's quite the introduction. Can you go around and introduce me that way everywhere?
Sure, I can be your spokeswoman.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. So how did you get started? Tell everybody how you got started.
Sure. So when I was 12, I was watching Barbara Walters. Some people might not know who that is.
Baba Wawa.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But at 12, okay.
I decided that I wanted to take her job. I just stood up in the middle of my family room and said to my parents, I'm going to kick her out of her seat and I'm going to be famous. And my dad laughed, like,
Yeah, right.
yeah. Well, clearly a lot of people didn't get the memo because, as you know, I didn't kick Barbara off of her chair of 2020. So I ended up going to college and majoring in broadcast communications. I was a part of the radio station and I interned at 4 different places, one of which was MTV in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it was there that I saw exactly what women had to do and who they had to be successful in that industry. And what I mean by that is they had to be something that rhymes with switch.
Okay.
And I wasn't willing to be that person. And so I shifted gears 2 months before graduation. I decided to do marketing and PR. And so I did. I did marketing and PR. I did it well. I had great positions. And I started hearing people on the radio that really sounded. I was like, I can do this so much better. Why am I not doing it? So I went out and got an agent. And I started doing voiceover and a lot of on-camera work back in the 90s and 2000s. And when I started to try and have a family with my husband is when we decided that we were going to build a studio in my basement because daycare, it just didn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's
Oh, my God.
It is. What they charge is astronomical.
Astronomical.
Yeah.
Why would I go to work to literally hand over almost my entire salary for someone
Right.
to watch my kid from
Exactly. It evens itself out.
Yeah. So my first studio was downstairs in the basement of our home, and we made it with PVC pipe, a shower curtain, like little, circle things, and I punched holes through moving blankets and created a corner in my basement. And then once I started to get more clientele and more money, specifically when I booked to be the official voice of John Deere, is when I invested in this studio, which you see behind me. And it's this contained, box. The door weighs I think 250 or 300 pounds. And when you go like this to the handle, it vacuum seals you in. I love it.
Oh, wow. That's
Wow.
amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
I sometimes go in there to cry silently.
Oh, okay. Just have these long conversations with yourself,
Hey, multi-purpose.
Yeah. I talk to myself in a padded room all day. I'm very happy to be speaking to you. Like this is what I do.
So-
But
It's the I love me room. Yeah.
yeah, but all jokes aside, this allows me to be at home and take my kids to school, pick them up from school. It allows me that when the nurse calls and tells me my daughter broke her thumb flying off of something, at risk, I'm there and still provide income for my family. And I think most important for me is that I'm doing something that I love to do.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
getting paid to do something that I love to do and that I believe that I was born to do.
Okay.
So I'm living the dream.
That's
fantastic.
great. So who gets you all these gigs? I mean, is it your agent that's putting you out there to get you the gigs? Are you interacting with a lot of people?
Yeah, so I would say that 80 to 90% of my jobs come from me marketing myself.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I would say the other 10 to 20% comes from my agents. And my agents send me opportunities that I otherwise wouldn't be able to get myself. Larger companies like,
Yeah.
the Nike campaigns, the John Deere's, right? That's how I got the John Deere gig. I auditioned through an agent. So it's kind of mostly myself. So I really am a small business owner, and I have to market myself and put myself out there to get work.
So what do you have? This whole like media kit that you send out to them or no?
Actually, I send out cold emails. I do research about the company and see if my voice would be a good fit. And if it is, I send them a quick email. It's really no more than a sentence or two. And it's really not talking about me. It's talking about them and the great work that they do and how I think we might be a good fit. And see if it works. And, if it does, and they do reply, because they get hundreds of these from voiceover people a week.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, once in a while I'm lucky and they read it and I get put on their voiceover roster, which means that when a project comes across their desk, they go to their in-house voiceover roster and then they'll send that audition out. And so that's more opportunities. It takes me between 50 and 75 auditions before I book a job.
Really?
A lot of rejection.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's in all facets of entertainment, but that's, it's a numbers game.
It is.
It is. Pure and simple.
So the more people that have my name, that have me on their roster of in-house possibilities, the more opportunities I get from my agent, the more opportunities I create for myself, the higher probability that my bank account will be hammered.
Now, do you get a lot of repeats from these people? Like, because you've done something already that they'll come back to you?
Yeah, so that's the goal, right? Happy repeat customers. That is the goal, is to make someone so happy by going above and beyond with customer service, by providing a great quality of sound and delivering quickly, that they want to come back to you and they think of you. So yeah, the goal is to have repeat clients. I mean, I've had clients for 13, 14 years now, and I'm terribly grateful for them because they trust me, and they trust me with their brand messaging. They trust me with their product information. And it's wonderful to get to know people over that course of time. Again, I'm in a box. To get to know people
with no keys to the handcuffs.
Yeah, right.
My question is, how do when you do get a job, how do they break everything down for you? Does it go either one way or the other, where it's you do this and we give you a price for every time it airs, or we just pay you one lump sum and we utilize it as much as we want? Or is that your call?
So in voiceover, rates are typically negotiated between the voiceover actor and the client, or the client and the agent. So those rates are based on a couple different factors. Studio session fee is one of them. So no matter what, we're going to pay you, let's just make up a number, $300. So we're going to pay you $300 just to get in your studio and record, right? Now that could be a live directed session where they're directing you on the other line live and telling you, so no matter what, if it's 15 minutes or 3 hours, you're going to get paid this amount of money for a session fee.
Okay.
Then, depending on the usage is huge. So are you going to use it just on TV? Are you going to use it just on radio? Are you going to use it on radio, the web, socials, TV, streaming, the usage of it?
Yeah.
And the next component is the cycle. So are you using it for a 6-week cycle, a 12-week cycle, an 8-week cycle, or is it in perpetuity? Like, are you going to use it forever? Is it going to live forever?
Yeah, right.
So all of those factors go into determining a price. See, it's not so much like, oh, I did a 15-second commercial, so it's quick, so you only have to get paid this much. No, it doesn't work like that. It works.
There's so many other factors, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of good, because that really opens so many more doors for you. Not everything has to be massive and huge. You could still maintain your day-to-day operation with just medium work that is just quick, ready to go, bing, bang, boom, plus your repeat, 14 years is extraordinary.
That's a long time.
I think with voiceover work, being in entertainment, a musician, comedy, stuff like that, voiceover work was always a mystery to me, and it was always one of those things that, not that I was trying to do it or even thought about it, but I always was curious, how do you even break into it? That's like the biggest question. Like you see all these people doing it, having huge success. Commercials are obviously massive, and how do you get your foot in that type of door? So I was super excited to have you on today to hear all this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
I have a question too. Well, I have a couple of questions. Like your studio, do you always do everything out of your studio, or do they have you come to their studio sometimes too?
Since the pandemic, I do everything here. The pandemic really sped things up that I think were inevitable anyways.
Okay.
Sure.
Back in the 90s, 2000s, yes, I would go to a studio and record quite often.
Okay.
A local studio. But post-pandemic, all of my work is
done in your own.
Behind me. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. And like with the commercials and all, like, okay, so they have Anne as the actress who's in the commercial. But Anne's voice is your voice? Is that what it is?
Oh, it depends. It depends how it's written. Like I've auditioned for pieces that are the inner monologue of a woman on a screen. She's but she's out loud. Right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then sometimes they have the person who's on camera do the voice. It's, it all depends.
Okay.
That's a huge opportunity to get on camera.
Physically been on camera yourself? Been the actress?
Yeah. I used to do a ton of on-camera work. I call it BC, before children.
I like that.
Yeah. BC, life was different. I had the time and the flexibility to go to these shoots. A lot of times you have to provide your own wardrobe. You have to do your own hair and makeup. And so I had a lot more flexibility, not only financially, but time-wise to go do those things. I've been on a national television commercial. I've been in a movie, which was probably one of the top 5 experiences of my life.
Wow.
A lot of corporate narration pieces. And like one thing I did was if you were diagnosed with diabetes, a doctor would give you a DVD. I'm dating myself, and I was the host of that DVD to walk you through your diagnosis and you understand other players,
Right.
Yeah, training videos for companies, all that stuff. I do a little bit of on camera now, just a little bit, but I would say the focus has definitely shifted AC or AK after kids, AC after children, to spending the majority of my time in my padded room.
Well, I have to believe that if you wanted to replace Baba Wawa, that you wanted to be on camera. So I don't think I think that's a non-issue. I think if someone's going to throw you that bone, you're going to jump all over it and up your price.
You're right.
Actually, on camera pays less than voiceover.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. That's
really. I would have never thought that.
When I earn in voiceover, like I can do a voiceover for, let's say, I do an e-learning piece. I could do an e-learning piece for $600 to $800. It'll take me about an hour to record and edit, and I send it off. If I'm on set as an extra all day for a commercial, I might earn $250 to $300.
Oh, and you're just sitting there waiting to go on and stuff. Yeah,
that's true.
So,
Are you in your studio?
I can work in my pajamas.
Oh, that's the best part of it. Too. That is the best part of it. Flip-flops, pajamas. Where are you, Christy?
I am located in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. Okay.
Oh, Cleveland. Okay.
Good old Cleveland. I got to go through tour through there a couple years back, and it's so weird. Ohio's a very interesting state. Got a lot of interesting places. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You got to go through a lot of corn to get there. But when you can't realize how much corn is there. But when I relocated to Tampa like 23 years ago, and I was down here, I met so many transplants from Ohio.
Yep,
you think you get a lot from New York? Ohio all day long. I was I didn't realize that was that many people in Ohio.
It's funny. But I went on vacation with my husband to Florida, and we're sitting at a restaurant and in Clearwater, And I, right. And there's like 6 people that I know. Like literally.
That's so funny. Where did you come from?
What's going on? Yeah.
Were we on the same flight?
Yeah. You go down there as an Ohioan and you're definitely going to run into somebody that you know.
That's
right. Funny.
Interestingly enough, if you travel through the Cleveland airport, you will hear my voice. I'm the official voice of the Cleveland airport.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
excellent.
that's amazing.
Every like 5 minutes. My husband travels for work. He's like, I can't get rid of you. I hear you all the time.
Oh my God, that's haunting.
That is so funny. Or he's walking through and say, "You hear that? You hear that voice? That's my wife. She's chasing you right to the airport."
You can you don't go near her. You can't have her. She's a
God, that's Christy.
No, that voice. Yeah, that voice.
Oh.
Your editing and everything, as far as your the audio. Are you using Pro Tools? Are you using some software or something specific?
Adobe, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I have a on-call engineer, audio engineer. His name is Roy Yokelson. He's amazing. And I developed a relationship with him about 10 or 11 years ago. And if I have any problems, he's right there. He's like right there for me. So he helped me set up everything and helped walk me through Adobe. So yeah, that's what I use.
That's great. That's
hugely important.
Yeah.
Hugely important. You got to have it. You have to have tech on hand. Are you kidding?
Yeah. I use Adobe, but in a different way, you know, but I want to get into a little bit more with the animation and stuff like that, because it just looks so amazing, you know, to be working with the animation. So I'm going to be trying my hand at that and see how much I screwed up, because I call myself, you know, technology for dummies. So, you know, we'll see. My adopted son, he's like my guru to go to when something happens, you know. So,
what do you have on the horizon, Christy? Anything new besides voiceover work? Do you have any irons in the fire of maybe a different direction with something?
So I'm super excited because right now, I don't know when this episode of your podcast is going to air, but right now it's the month of March. It's Women's History Month. And to give you a little background of why I'm doing what I'm doing for Women's History Month, in February, the first or second week in February, I participated in a voiceover workshop online. And I really want to voice male-dominated sports. And I've been trying to do that for like 3 years. And I've gone outside the box in my marketing and so on and so forth, and it just hasn't landed. And so I spoke with a woman who is very reputable. She's a top agent in our industry. And I asked her, like, what are my chances? Like, let's just be real. What are my chances of voicing for male-dominated sports? She's like, listen, you've got the talent, you've got all that stuff, but there's not a lot of opportunities. Like, there's just not. And, you know, she compared it to, there used to be 0 opportunities. Now there's there's just not that many opportunities for women to voice for the NFL, to voice for the PGA Tour, to voice for UFC. So I got kind of angry. And I decided to launch the Building Doors for Women to Walk Through social media campaign. I've partnered with 14 other female voiceover actors who have strong, powerful, bold voices. And I'm featuring them on social media all month, voicing commercials and promos that were originally voiced by men for male-dominated genres.
That's cool.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change, like UFC, NFL, MLB, even like gaming and Lord of the Rings, those kinds of things. And our campaign is getting a lot of traction, and I'm very excited about it because our goal is to show brands that you can use a female voice, even though you're a whiskey brand, even though you're the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's still going to sound amazing, and you're still going to be hitting target audiences. And, you know, in the research that I did for this campaign, I didn't know this, but 46 to 50% of the fan bases of the NFL, MLB, and the NHL are women. So why aren't we hearing more women advertise your product?
I think that's by force. Like I want to be around my husband, so I'm a fan.
So, and actually, I think the number of female fans that watched this past Super Bowl, Swiftie or not, was over 50%.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I do believe it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, this Super Bowl was very charismatic. Both teams, I mean, the whole thing was just so charismatic that why wouldn't you want to sit in front of the TV and watch it? I love the commercials. It depends on the team. The team is like an iffy, but
Right.
the commercials to me are the most important thing, and so why shouldn't women? I mean, why shouldn't a woman do a whiskey commercial or, and they've got women announcing plays and stuff for the NFL.
Yes.
So let's bring it a level higher. Why not?
That's come a long way. I mean, there's so many more representation on the sidelines, beyond, with all the analytic shows, and it's come a long, long way in a very, very pretty short period of time once they focused on it. And
really, and I've heard
do a great job.
Women know about football. They know a lot.
A
You
lot.
have to give them the chance. You have to give a lot of these women the chance to let them.
And it's not like women don't drink whiskey and smoke cigars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do. They do.
Well, my husband and I have 2 children, a boy, age 9, and a daughter, age 11. And our daughter, she plays flag football. She often plays on only boys teams. She's okay. She plays PGA Junior golf, and there's not.
Oh, that's great.
In golf. She wanted to play baseball, but I couldn't get her in because she's a girl. So now she's playing softball. And so I am innately aware of the fact that my daughter doesn't have a lot of female role models when it comes to golf, when it comes to baseball. There needs to be more opportunities. And the more women are granted access to these rooms and to these places that they don't have, the more my daughter will get to see and look up to women in
Right. Right. Exactly. I totally agree with you. I do. I had my youngest in baseball until she was 9. And then at that point, and she was excellent. She was excellent. But at one point the boys do become a lot stronger than the girls. And I didn't want her to feel that she wasn't capable of being the ball player that she was. So we switched over to softball and she had a wonderful career. But they do get to, unfortunately, they are stronger at a certain point and they'll whip right now. So unless you're a certain type of female, if you're a big heavy hitter or something like that, which she was in her own right, but not to continue with the boys, So I'm very ambivalent about that. I want to see girls on a lot of different teams, but I know in certain areas they're not going to be. Certain girls are not going to be as strong as the boys are. It's just
I think that's
given.
It's just I think when you get older and you get into like high school and stuff like that, things get a little tricky when it comes to that, especially like something like football. But I've seen all women's tackle football. There's so much going on. I have a cousin of mine in Colorado. Her daughter plays ice hockey.
Yeah,
and she plays ice hockey with the boys.
Yeah. There's a lot of girls that are playing ice hockey. It's great, But ice hockey is it's a physical sport in a different way, Unless you're checking a lot of people up against the boards,
They're pretty talented.
No, they are very talented. I think they are, but.
But I think
Christy's not saying anything. I don't think she
Christy,
agrees with me.
I'm letting you guys go. I'm letting you guys
So,
well, voiceover. Come on, Christy, voiceover.
that's what we'll do. We'll dub Christy's voice over yours, Mom, and
Okay.
or we'll put ruffle hair on Christy.
Yeah.
No, but Christy, for what you put together, it's great, and I think it's super exciting that you're getting noticed, you're getting some traction, and you could see this progressing to the level that you'd like to see it, because other areas.
Yeah, I'm going to continue it past March. Right now, we're posting a lot every day, every week.
Right.
But moving forward, I'm going to post every Wednesday a woman voicing a script originally voiced by a man or male-dominated genres, because I want to continue showing people, especially the brands, that they should consider women voicing their stuff. Because I'm not saying completely get rid of male. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, no, but making it an even field for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Women have been really passed over on a lot of things, and it's they found their way through a lot too. So this is just one more area, that they should take on and excel in. And I believe women can excel in that too. I mean, you're a perfect example. I mean, you do a lot. You 14 years of doing voiceovers, and you have a lot of repeat customers, and this is probably going to give you or put you in line for a lot of other things, I would imagine.
Well, fingers crossed. The voiceover community is large.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after the pandemic. During the pandemic, everybody jumped on this let's make money from home doing voiceover thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I'm fortunate that I've had the opportunity to spend close to 2 decades honing in on my craft.
Right.
Working with coaches, going to workshops and conferences, and being able to step up to the mic with confidence and deliver what is being asked of me. So,
is there anything you do special for your voice?
No.
It's just all natural, or how vocalists do vocal lessons, or working on breathing and stuff like that, or how to take care of your throat. Or you just kind of you're like, I am who I am. I do what I do, and that's that.
It's interesting you asked that question. I will say this, as a woman, when I was pregnant, it was very difficult to do my job, because when you're 9 months pregnant, you're out of breath.
Yeah, there's no doing about it.
You're naturally out of breath all the time. Like, you're just sitting there, and it's like you can't get a deep breath, right? So I would say that when I was pregnant, I did have a hard time even completing sentences because I didn't have any room. And interestingly enough, when Kristen, what is her name? The one that, the famous woman that did Frozen. She was Anna.
Oh, yeah.
Kristen Bell.
Yes.
Kristen Bell.
She actually, I saw this story somewhere. She actually recorded her voiceover for the entire movie, pregnant, and singing and all that other stuff. Well, she had to go back afterwards, after she had her baby, and redo the whole thing because of the quality of the sound of her voice.
Oh, wow. And there was no way any of the technicians could really work with that, because that's kind of difficult.
Well, that's kind of tough.
Yeah. That's very tough.
I mean, I would say
especially when you
normal, like warm-ups and stuff like that. The trend right now, and I don't think it's a trend, I think it's going to stay for a long, long time, is that people and brands want real people reads. They want it to sound like a real person.
Right.
Use this product and is talking about it, or all the time, like your best friend telling you this. They want real people reads. So it's really not about putting on a voice.
Sure.
It's about bringing the you to the script and being as real and raw and as personable as possible.
So you don't think that AI is going to take over any of the voiceover type of jobs that are out there?
Listen, lady, you just brought up a whole can of worms. That's not just for voiceover. That's for a lot of different things.
I will say this: AI and voiceover is a huge, huge topic in my community. It's huge. Mm-hmm. There's some people that believe that there's no point, like AI is going to take over all our jobs.
Right.
There are other people who think there's a way to integrate AI into what we do.
Right.
And when you look back in history, when the first sewing machine was invented, did it disrupt the industry? Yes, it did. When the automobile was invented, did it disrupt the industry? Yes, it did. But everybody adapted. And the challenge with AI, because it's growing so fast and changes every single day,
yes, mm-hmm.
is how do we adapt as voiceover actors to AI, and how do we incorporate it in our business model? What I would love to see, and what I hope to see, is that someone invents an app or some sort of software where I can spend hours recording my voice from instructions that they've labeled out, and I can create my own version of an AI voice, an AI Christy voice, that I can then offer as a service or product to my clients who need something quickly done. Christy, we like your voice. We want to use your voice, but we need something like in literally 6 minutes. Okay, download my AI voice, plug it in, and I charge a fee for that, or a licensing, or whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
Ideally, that would be great.
That's an
Right now, it's the
interesting
Wild Wild
angle.
West. Yeah, right now it's the Wild Wild West with AI.
Yeah. That's scary.
In fact, there was a social media post of a producer who produced this commercial and used a human voiceover actor. Well, they needed some revisions and they wanted it done quickly. So they just plugged in AI and did the revisions. And the guy kind of ended up getting called out by the voiceover community. Like, you should have told this person that originally voiced, this person should have been paid. You can't just, throw in AI. And he was actually really receptive. This guy was great. And he posted another video and reached out to people and said, oh, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know that this is how I should operate. So I think there's a lot of education that needs to go along with how to use AI as a tool when it comes to voiceover. Like, what rules are there? Because there are no rules right now, right?
Yeah.
I think we all need
No, there aren't. It's up for grabs. Everything is up for grabs, and everybody's joining the bandwagon. And it's like, oh, use AI for this, use AI for that. And I'm going to, it's helter skelter right now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I do use it to do paragraphs, and it works wonderfully. Yeah. And it does. And that part of it is great. But to do, a commercial, somebody's going to pay us. They're going to pay me to do a commercial on my show. They're going to pay me. They're not going to pay some AI voice to come out of my mouth. They're paying me, to do the commercial. So, I don't see it happening there. But you never know what, like you say, trends. You just don't know. You don't know what the next guy with the brilliant mind is going to come up with.
I got one. Hey, how about this, Christy? You and I will partner up. We're going to develop an app. You know how like Snapchat puts these visual filters that are insane?
Yeah.
We'll do voice filters. So like what my mother just said, right? We'll put like Daffy Duck on it or something, or like it's funny, right? Like a Bugs Bunny voice. Come on, we'll just make so much money. We'll retire. We won't have to worry about it.
The dream, right? The dream.
You're right. The dream. Yeah, the absolute dream. Well, Christy, tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure.
Okay.
My website is Christy
Ohio.
Harst. What's that? Oh, yeah, in a
cornfield.
My website is ChristyHarst.com. That's Harst, Christy, Christy, ChristyHarst.com. And I'm on almost all the social platforms. I'm not active on X, formerly Twitter, but I do have an account. But all the socials, I'm really active on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And you can find me on any of those places, listen to my voice, listen to some samples of my work, or see my latest and greatest on social media. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to say it.
Oh, yes, of course, absolutely. Because I think you're a magnificent person. I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
And anything that we can do to back you up, we're going to do, because it's very important.
I went on it and I watched your work, and it's a very well put together site, very polished, it works. And I was very impressed. I mean, obviously not with the site, with your actual work, but the way it was presented was phenomenal as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to say, and I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say this, the greatest gift that someone can give you is the gift of their time. And the fact, because time is such a precious resource.
It is.
And the fact that you actually went to my website and spent time and listened to my stuff, that's humbling to me. Because out of all the things that you could have done with that 5-10 minutes, you chose to listen to my stuff. So
great.
Sincerely and deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We were excited to have you on.
Oh, really? I was so excited when you said yes, and then when you sent me that email yesterday about it, I was like, no, it's tomorrow. No, I hope she doesn't say no. Yeah.
So, with having 2 kids and being here and being, it's easy to get your calendar dates confused. So I appreciate your patience.
God, yeah.
Oh, no problem. Always. But I'm just so pleased that you were on. I'm so happy that we got the chance to meet you, to talk to you. And I know you've got bigger and better things that you're going to be doing in the future. And I'm going to be watching. I know my son's going to be watching. Well, I'm on LinkedIn all the time. So, not all the time, but a good portion of the time. So I'll see what you're doing too while I'm on there. And for all of our
stalking.
The what? Yeah, it's called internet stalking. For all of our fans out there, thank you so much for being with us today and joining us with this episode. We're funnyminds.com. If you go on the website, we have a store, but we're changing things over. And you got to see it. We've made some changes on the website, and we're going to be making a lot more. And there's 2 organizations that we're involved with and that we really care a lot about, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and breast cancer. So there's a big purple button on there. And when you see it, and if you're capable, if you'd like to donate, that would be wonderful. And spend our day with Christy, or our episode with Christy, has been absolutely eye-opening and enjoyable. And I loved every minute of it. Thank you, Christy, so much for being with us. So to everybody out there, be healthy, be wise, be happy, be safe, smile, and don't forget to laugh, because we all know that laughter is the best medicine. And I say goodbye, and I say good luck. Good luck with your campaign. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well.